Hey everyone, and welcome to this video covering projects in Dynamics 365 Project Service Automation. So projects are a container for work, and they're usually created from the context of a quote or a project contract. But sometimes you might want to create a project on its own to kind of sketch your project framework and your project work breakdown structure, and to estimate your costs and your project duration. So on this video, we'll cover the nuances of related to projects, such as the work breakdown structure, uh, project labor tracking, project estimates, etc. So let's jump in the system and look at the project main form first. So on the project main form, you have the business process flow, as well as some general information, estimates, and actuals. And one of the first things that you do when you create a project is you choose a project template. And project templates are something that you can build in the system and then choose the template that fits your project the best. And on your project templates, you also choose a calendar template. Now, the calendar template basically means that it has the hours per day that will be on your project tasks. And I'll actually demonstrate that to you by using two examples. So here on demo project 1, I have a task that has effort hours of 16, and it spans over a duration of 2 days, so my workday consists of 8 hours. Now on demo project 2, I have effort hours for 12 and a duration of 3. So the work hours per day on this project are 4. All right, so some other things we have on the project main form are the sales tab, which has the related project contract and a related project quote if it applies. Then we have a team member tab, as well as a status tab that shows the progress percentage and cost consumption, etc. So let's jump to the work breakdown structure next. And on the work breakdown structure, we can see a task mode on the left. Right now, this task is automatically scheduled, and that means that the work effort for this task will be front loaded. And as you can see, task 1.2 starts from where task 1.1, which is its predecessor, ends. So task 1.2 starts on the 22nd, and task 1.1 ends on the 21st. Now, if I change the task mode to manually scheduled and change the effort hours, the contour will change, and the workload for this task will be evenly distributed. Now, changing the task mode to manually scheduled also allows me to change to change the start date so that both of these tasks start on the same date. So as you can see, once this loads up, you can see that the Gantt chart changes, and now both of my tasks start on the same date. Now if I change the task mode back to automatically scheduled, let's give it just a sec. Sometimes it takes a while to push the changes through. Well, let's try to refresh this. Here we go. So now that we changed the task modes back to automatically scheduled, now the end date for the task 1.1 is the 21st, and now the start date for task 1.2 is the 22nd. So some other things that we have on the work breakdown structure are the roles for each task and also the resources for each task. We can choose columns to add additional columns to the view or remove those that we don't need. We can use the generate project team to generate a project team that consists of generic resources, we can move the project, we can hide the Gantt chart, we can move the tasks up and down, outdent, indent, add a task, etc., etc. And here you can see a bit of turquoise on this specific task, and that means that we have some approved time entries for this task, so you can see some progression for this task right here. All right, moving on, let's look at project estimates next. And the project estimates gives you a high-level view of your effort, your cost, or your sales, either by task or as a whole for the project. And again, we have this choose columns here that we can use to either hide or add some additional columns to the view. Let's add quantity and role just to kind of demonstrate how this works. We can use a grid view if we want to. And then we can, if we change these values, for example, if we change the effort values, we can save the changes by using the save button right here. All right, moving on. Let's look at project labor tracking next. And project labor tracking gives you a more detailed view of your project tasks. Now, on task 1.2 and 1.3, we have some actual logged hours, so we have some improved time entries. And here's that turquoise again that I mentioned on the work breakdown structure. Now we have this choose columns here again, so we can add some columns or remove some columns based on what we want to see. Again, let's choose actual revenue and actual labor cost just to kind of show you an example. And if you want to analyze your projects a bit further, I do recommend looking into Power BI. It's a great power tool, you know, especially to kind of get an idea of your projects as a whole. So if you don't just want to analyze a specific project and its tasks and want to see where all of your projects are, I do recommend looking into Power BI and leveraging that to gain an insight into your projects on a more detailed level. All right, some other views that we have are the project team members, the resource requirements, as well as your actuals. So we do get some financial information by using actuals. Again, if you want to use and look at your actuals in more detail, I do recommend using the project contract for that, or using Power BI to analyze your projects in more detail. But in short, this was projects in Dynamics 365 Project Service Automation. I hope you got some insight with this video, with the help of this video. And I want to thank you for your time and have a good one.